Well, once again, it's the next morning. And once again, we'll see what we got. Now I know these spindles look like I made them too long. Well, I deliberately did that. I'm going to shorten them to size after I know what I'm doing here. Yeah, I guess some of these projects you can tell I sort of play it by ear. I don't really stick to a plan, and I think that's what kind of makes it fun. I think this is going to work. Well, it's going to be different, that's for sure. I've just temporarily set everything on the base there, and it's sort of a good thing that I did, because I've discovered that if I have all the pieces flush with the back, they kind of hang over on the front. I guess that profiled edge took up more space than I thought it did. So if I move everything back so that it looks good, then I'm going to have to trim about 30 seconds or so off of each one of those pieces. No big deal. That's just about perfect. Now before this piece and this piece are fastened together, I want to make sure that the distance from the edge here to here is the same as here to here. And the same on the other end. Another consideration, because I had trimmed this down approximately 5/16 of an inch, it meant that this piece here is 5/16 of an inch closer to the edge. That means that when the back goes on, it's going to stick out a little bit. Now I can do one of two things. I can either leave it sticking out and sort of camfer along the edges there, which I think I'm probably going to do, or I can cut this down. But I think I'm just going to leave the back sticking out a little bit and just sort of angle the edges all the way around. And another thing, I've got to rabbet along here. Oh, well, maybe just 1/8 of an inch down, so that the back, when it goes on, it will sort of sit down into the base and also into the top. The reason for that is because when a person's looking from the front, should the back not fit real tight against the bottom and the top, you're going to be able to see through. Whereas if it's set down into a little slot, you won't be able to, and it'll just look a little better. Now there is something else I should mention here, and that is that if I trim this down the same way as I did this one, it's going to reduce the depth of the case. And that means that I'm going to have less room to accommodate the dial and the movement and the speaker. And I may need all the room I can get. And one more thing. I better make sure that the dial is going to fit in between this. And it will. Now, needless to say, I want everything as square as possible here. Whoops, did you see the ruler move there? I better allow for that. Now I realize it doesn't show up too good here, but if I rabbet out this section here, the back will be able to recess down into that. And I'll be doing the exact same thing, mirror image on the top. Now I have bigger bits than this, but I'm thinking that rather than trying to take this out all at once, I'm better off making 2, maybe 3 passes and slowly work my way up to this line. And I guess this job has tomorrow written on it, because I think I'm pretty well done for today.